In part two of this video, I really want to start to talk about Tuckman's second phase that is entered into usually during the third and fourth months of this eight-month plan. Generally, that's going to be the months of October and November. Tuckman's second phase is the storming phase, and for many members, this can be a phase where they're brought about with some adversity, where they're also a little scared and worried about what's going to happen to the organization through this phase. Many times members can begin to react negatively to the demands that are put on them. Many times that's due to the schoolwork that they may have at that time. Generally, in October and November, students are beginning to be a little strapped with the assignments they have to do school-related, and that can sometimes take away from the demands that they know they have to do within the organization. You also have the mixing of first-year students with the third and fourth-year students, and generally the first-year students are beginning to express new ideas, new activities that they would like to see, and beginning to kind of feel a little bit more part of the organization, while the third and fourth year members may feel like they're invading a little bit. They may be invading on the exec board and what they had planned, and the first year students want to do things differently. So there can be a little bit of conflict that happens through this storming phase. As an advisor, using the ACPA manual, one of the areas you really want to concentrate on is being a conflict mediator, being a listener during this time, listening to your exec board, making sure that they are still cohesive and still understand the purpose, the goal, and the vision of His House Christian Fellowship. Make sure they understand that and can continue to reiterate that to all of the members so that they can stay on the same page. The advisor during this phase may also want to make sure that they're possibly talking to the exec board about planning activities for the organization that build upon teamwork, build upon collaboration. So the students can, through this phase, begin to build on that and renew some of those relationships that may have went astray through this storming phase. It's also important that the students understand that this phase is normal. This phase is okay. It's part of the process. What positives can you take from this part of the process? So throughout this phase, the advisor plays a very significant role in being that mediator, being that middle person that can then keep the executive board understanding that this is okay to go through this, but also how can we get through this, and how can we get through this in a way that brings us closer as a group together. For His House Christian Fellowship, one example during this time may be asking your large group speaker. Each week you'd have a different speaker come in, maybe having a series that's built upon biblical principles of conflict management and biblical principles of teamwork and how that can be brought in. Perhaps that will help your groups steer them in a way that they see through this storming phase, that they can come together collaboratively and get through this phase together and become better because of this phase.